Welcome to the Manifesting Doll podcast. I'm Barbara Orban from No Diet Babe. I'm a spiritual mindset coach and weight loss expert. If you are a spiritual babe wanting to up-level your life around your body, health, wellness, spirituality, law of attraction and manifestation, then this is the podcast for you. I'm here to give you the tools, teachings, and strategies to manifest the body and life of your dreams. As spiritual babes, we know to focus on love as opposed to fear. So get ready to learn how to implement spiritual teachings to weight loss, wellness, and your daily life, coming from a place of love and abundance. This is a celebration of how we can shift our inner perception of ourselves and watch our outer selves shift. You can become the best version of yourself, and I'm here to help. So let's get started. Hey babes, welcome to the Manifesting Doll podcast. I'm Barbara Orban from NoDietBabe.com. And welcome to today's episode. I'm super excited about today's episode because today we're going to be talking about if you have to be perfect in order to get the body you want. Now, just a reminder, you guys, before I get started with this podcast episode, I have a really important announcement to make. And I really want you to pay attention because this is really important, okay? I want to tell you that you only have just over 3 days left till we start the live 6-week program to overcome emotional eating and manifest your ideal body. Okay, so this course is Emerge, all right? And it's one of my best courses, you guys, because we go deep into your relationship with food and your relationship with your body. Now, if you understand manifestation and law of attraction, you guys, if you are wanting to manifest something in your life, you have to look at your relationship to that thing, your vibration in relation to the thing that you are wanting. I.e., one of the biggest things that we see in the manifestation world is money, right? So many teachers that teach manifestation teach around money. Now, what do they keep on telling you? That you have to work on your relationship to money. So here I am as a weight loss manifestation coach, and I'm here to tell you that if you want to manifest weight loss, you have to work on your relationship to food and your relationship to your body. And this is the foundation of my course Emerge, okay? Now, what my perception is of weight loss, which I'm going to be talking about throughout this episode, is about this idea that it's all about the action and that you have to be perfect, etc., etc. And I want to help you see that it's about your energy, your emotions, etc., etc. And yes, I always say that there's action involved, but it's different to how you perceive it to be. Now, so Emerge is a 6-week live course, you guys. What this means is that we're going to be holding live sessions. You're going to be able to come along live. If you can't make it live, that's perfectly okay. There's going to be a replay, but there's also going to be 2 different opportunities to catch me for question and answer. Now, the reason why I've got 2 sessions for Q&As is because I know a lot of you are in all different places around the world, and so I wanted to cater to different time zones. So you're going to have 2 different opportunities to come and ask me questions regarding the course, which also you're going to get that support for the 6 weeks, and you're also going to get Facebook group support for the 6 weeks. So this is a perfect opportunity for you to be more accountable around your relationship to food and your body, and to also get the environment of a live group to help you feel supported. Now, I know that when I'm doing a program, it definitely feels better if I'm being supported live and I can ask questions. So that's the reason why I've redesigned Emerge, so that you can feel somewhat supported in your journey to heal your relationship to food in your body and manifest weight loss. So you guys, this is an amazing course because a lot of emotional eating courses out there are only covering different aspects of overcoming emotional eating. And I'm here to teach you all the different areas that I worked on, because I worked on, yes, the science of it, meaning the psychology and the strategies behind overcoming emotional eating. So this stuff that I'm here to show you and teach you in the course and help you implement is backed around science, right? There's a whole ton of science around the psychology of eating, you guys. And so the foundation of the strategies that I teach are with knowing that stuff. But also because I'm a manifestation coach, because I fully believe in the laws of the universe and know that govern our results, I know that you need to understand the law of attraction perspective, which is why majority of the course is for you guys that are into the law of attraction and manifestation. But I like to intertwine that with the science, okay? So that's why this is a fabulous, unique way for you to really learn different aspects and piece them together all in the one course, which to me, that's quite rare to see. And I do get many clients telling me how wonderful the content is, how much they love it. And also what happens is that people start to notice less cravings, less desire to overeat, more in control around food, and of course, weight loss, okay? So this is the exciting part of doing this work, is you're going to be able to transform from the inside out and emerge as the version of yourself that you've always wanted to be, the version of yourself that just feels good in their body, feels good around food, and is able to lose weight in an easy, sustainable way that doesn't feel depriving. So that's really what I'm here to help you to do, because I know that many of you feel the struggle and feel how hard it is to lose weight, feel how you feel like the only way to lose weight is to deprive yourself. You feel frustrated because no matter what you do, no matter what diet you try, you can't get to where you want to be and stay there. You end up gaining it back. You end up having this relationship to food where it feels like you can't control yourself. The weight comes back. You feel like you put in more effort than other people, and that's frustrating. So I'm here to help you through all that. I've been through it all, you guys, okay? If you don't know about my story, I had over 10 years of weight fluctuations and emotional eating. And until I implemented these mindset changes, I wasn't able to overcome this stressful situation around food and weight, to the point where I would lose 10 to 20 pounds and then gain it back again. And it was exhausting. It was embarrassing. It was shameful. It caused me a lot of anxiety and depression. And it was all because my mindset around food, my relationship to food and exercise was not ideal, and it wasn't healthy. And I know that a lot of people, especially with the dieting industry, and because it's all about pushing yourself and how you need to be disciplined, which has its place, but for a lot of people, they're doing it from an energy of fear. They're doing it from and it's just not working out for them. So my thing is, if it's not working out for you, you have to try something else, because there is always a way. There's always a way, you guys. There's always a way. You're always capable of getting to where you want to be, all right? And I realize that now. I used to believe that I wasn't capable, and now I know that each and every one of us are capable, okay? And you don't have to suffer alone. You don't have to feel frustrated. I've helped many women go from feeling powerless in their weight loss to feeling empowered and losing weight without the deprivation, you guys. It's not meant to feel like so much suffering as you think, right? So let's talk about today's episode, okay? But but yeah, just a reminder, Emerge, you have 3 more days till we start, all right? So www.nodietbabe.com/emerge. I've also added a pay in full bonus, you guys. If you pay in full, you're going to get access to a new training that I'm creating around holiday weight gain. So if you pay in full, you do get that as a bonus, that training that's coming out soon as a bonus. So I'm super excited about that. So go check it out. 6-week live course, amazing support in a Facebook group and Q&A sessions. Super excited for this, you guys. I'm going to help you with your emotional eating to manifest your ideal body. So nodietbabe.com/emerge. All right. So do you have to be perfect in order to get the body you want? This episode takes me back to my earlier years. Makes me sound old. I actually feel quite young coming back from Bali, you guys, because the amount of people that were surprised by my age was like overwhelming. I mean, come on, you never can hear that enough. Like, I'll be honest with you, I'll never grow sick of hearing that I look younger than I am. I freaking love hearing it. Like, tell me more. Right. So I was really in heaven on my trip to Bali, like hearing that I look younger than I am. And I think it's not just, I don't think it's just that. I think it's when you're on holidays. I think like I feel like I'm more glowing. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, do you feel like that when you go on holidays? Like, you just feel just in your zone, like you're just fully relaxed, and it's the sun, it's the drinking. I mean, yeah, I don't know about you, but I drink cocktails during the day when I'm on holidays, for sure. I mean, everybody that I was by the pool was like, when I was working on my laptop and everyone else was like ordering cocktails, I was like, oh, let's finish working so I can get my espresso martini, that is. And if you followed me on Instagram, you'll see lots of cocktails involved, which, mind you, it's nice to get back to back home and just normal life, mind you. But I like to just have that couple weeks where I let loose, which is also what I'm going to talk about in my new training called about holiday weight gain, right? So basically, let's get back on track. But so around this whole thing around how I used to be and how I used to think that I had to be perfect. And when I was younger, I had this idea in my head of the body that I wanted, right? Pretty much from teenage years, I just wanted to be attractive. Like, I wanted to have a great body. And maybe, or maybe not, you can relate to this. Maybe you just, it doesn't matter. Look, honestly, it doesn't matter where you were at. It's the same thing that applies. And I think a lot of you are at the point where it's like, you're not looking to be a fitness model. You just want to be your best self. And I've been like that somewhat, but also I think like my best self is going to be quite like, I want to look toned. I want to look fit. Like, I want to look good. Yeah. And, but mine has always been this obsession with the naturally slim, because I went through a phase where I was forcing it, and then I was like, no, I want this to be easy. So coming back to when I thought I had to force it, I would Google nonstop. And I know that a lot of you can relate to this. You're Googling nonstop. You're like going down this rabbit hole of information on the internet about how to lose weight and how to get the body you want. And I bought so many, like, you know how you buy those ebooks, the PDF ebooks. I know you've been there, and you buy tons of them with the dieting advice. And I remember so clearly all of these ebooks that I downloaded with constant diets, like constantly downloading these ebooks with different meal plans, with different diets, with different explanations about how to get the 6-pack abs. That's what I was all about, how to get the 6-pack abs. And then I'd read these books that were telling me that I had to eat 100% perfect if I wanted to have a six-pack and abs. And what I mean by perfect is that I couldn't cheat at all. I had to eat 100% clean. I had to restrict everything. And so I would legit do that. I'd be like, all right, like, let's do this. Like, it can't be this hard. Like, let me go do my grocery shopping. Let me get rid of all the junk food in the house. And this was how I lived. I did the meal planning, the meal preps every Sunday where you put all your food into containers. I mapped out an exercise routine, pasted it on my fridge, put it on my fridge, and I'd tick it off as I did each workout. I even had training manual thingies where I had to write in how many sets and reps of each exercise I did. I did a food meal plan diary. What did I have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner today? I used to do those 12-week programs over and over again, you guys. It's not that hard. You feel oh, okay. I heard one of my friends say this the other day. No, I'm just going to do a 12-week plan, a 12-week program, and then I'm going to get to where I want to be. And I'm like, no, but you're an emotional eater. Your problem isn't going to be fixed with a 12-week program. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with 12-week programs, but I'm just saying that for the majority of you and for how I was, it's not the solution, because you'll just go back. Where are you going to be at in 5 years' time? Are you going to be saying to yourself, let me just do another 12-week program? Do you get what I'm saying? It just goes around and around and around. You're not ever getting to the real solution to this problem, whereby your weight should just be consistent. It just should be it shouldn't be so hard. You shouldn't need to be let me just do a 12-week program. I'm not saying I don't put in any effort, but it's not like that anymore. It's not like that. Let me just turn my whole life upside down. Yeah. So coming back to, do you have to be perfect to get the body you want? It's my perception back then was that I had to be perfect, but then I'd try to be perfect and then I wouldn't be able to sustain that because it was too hard, and then I'd go the other end, which is what I see all the time. And then for people that kind of waver, they're oh, let me just get back to eating like I was then because I was succeeding then. But what they don't see is that the problem isn't the foods that they eat. The problem is that they just eat too much of them. And especially when they're coming off being restricted around food, their portions when they do a cheat meal or when they let loose are just too big. They're just not They haven't learned how to practice moderation and portion control. And when you learn to practice moderation and portion control, you don't have to be so strict around the foods you eat. You can go out and have pizza and burgers and a cocktail and not let that suddenly make you gain 5 pounds overnight. You just are more consistent, right? It isn't about having to be perfect. Now, for those of you that come to me and say, but I need to go low carb, but I need to cut out sugar, but, I know I've been there. Like, I had really bad acne. I had polycystic ovaries. So acne and polycystic ovaries, what are the biggest things that they tell you to cut out for acne and polycystic ovaries? Well, for acne, number one, dairy. No dairy, because dairy causes acne. That's what I kept on believing and what I was told. Okay, so there's that. Now there's sugar and carbs. Sugar and carbs to get rid of my acne. So this comes back to not only the body that I want, but my skin. My skin was a huge thing, a huge anxiety and stress around my body, around food and stuff, right? Because of this, what I'm saying, like the 3 big things for acne for me around diet was being told the dairy, the sugar, the carbs. Okay, that was big. And I noticed it in my life. Like, I legit noticed it. Every time I had dairy, I'd break out. Every time I had excess sugar, I'd break out. Every time I upped my carbs a little bit, I'd break out. And this was frustrating because I had evidence. I had evidence of this. I had evidence of it, okay? And so I would feel deprived. I'd feel frustrated because I felt like I had to be perfect in order to get the body and the skin that I wanted. Now, fast forward to now, you guys. I have the clearest skin I've ever had in my entire adult life. Okay, I'm not kidding you. This is the first time I went to Bali and did not have massive breakouts. In the past, every time I went to Bali, because of the humidity, my skin and pores would go absolutely feral, like so feral, I'd be embarrassed. And this time round was the best I've ever experienced, the best ever. And I've done a lot of mindset work around my beliefs around my skin and around my body, as you guys know, but around my skin. And yeah, like amazing. I'm just like, holy shit. Like there was one point where I started to get a tiny breakout and then I just did my mindset processes and then like it went away and then clear skin for the rest of the trip. Like I was like, fuck yeah, I look great. And yeah, but you guys, like I used to struggle a lot around this, and I am not going to go deep into like any supplements that I took to help with this because the kind of like the foundation was the mindset work and then supplements came after that. But whenever I started with the supplements without doing the mindset work, it didn't work. So I had to change my beliefs around my skin and what it was capable of doing. And look, I don't drink milk, but I certainly have lots of cheese and butter. So the dairy thing is just, to me, it's like absolute bullshit because I have dairy, I have butter, I have cheese. I'm never going to give up butter and cheese. I freaking love butter and cheese. Do not tell me I can't eat butter and cheese because my skin is fucking clear. Okay. And it's like that as well. Like, don't tell me that I can't have cocktails and have a nice stomach. Like, I'm happy with the way my body looks, but I'm also not going to say I can't eat whatever I want or eat the things that I like just so I can look good. Like, I want to have both. Like, I want to be able to have both. And that's why I've done this work on my mindset and to change my relationship to my body and food, because I believe you can have the best of both worlds. And it doesn't, like, when you get caught up on, no, but I can't because I've always had to be perfect, just know that I've coached women around this, okay? And I've coached the women who have had to be the most strict in order to lose weight. And I have changed their metabolism first up. I've changed their relationship to food second up. And they're losing weight without having to be perfect around food. This works for everybody. It just needs consistent mindset work. You have to be willing to do the work on your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind holds the power, okay? But it takes time. You can't just go consciously for a few days, let me just apply this stuff and then like magic it works. You have to consistently apply it for long enough for your subconscious mind to take it on board, which this will, like, this is for the people who are willing to do that, because it takes work. You have to do the work on the mental work, which I don't know about you, but I'd rather do something that works, right? And this stuff works. Okay, this works. The mindset stuff works. You just have to keep applying it. Whereas taking action around weight loss, it's like, okay, so to me, I spent over 10 years trying to be perfect around food and that didn't work. I shifted to changing my mindset. Now it's working. So it's kind of like which do you want to put in effort for? Like, are you going to keep on putting effort to try, let me just try another low carb diet. Let me just try and cut sugar out. Let me just download this ebook that gives me a meal plan. Like, you've done that shit before. Like, do the mindset work. Trust me, I spent over 10 years trying to do it the way that most people do it. Here I am now with a more consistent weight. I'm got the clearest skin I've ever had in my adult life. I've got, I would say the best body that I've ever had in my entire life as well. And not just the best body, but the best body that I've been able to maintain for this long without feeling deprived, without weight fluctuations, okay? And that's because I've shifted my relationship to food and my body and my weight, etc., okay? So the thing is, like, I've coached people around this who previously have done diets like keto and Whole30 where you have to be really perfect. And I've reframed their thinking, their beliefs around food, and then they've been able to lose weight without those restrictive diets, okay? So this, I think it's just people's perceptions based on how the weight loss industry likes to portray information and instill fear in us around our relationship to food, where we think that there's foods that make us fat and there's foods that make us lose weight. It's really not like that. It's really just about the energy balance. And even with energy balance, it's not as simple as like calories in, calories out, because your body adapts to different things. So like I've said this before in lots of episodes, but like if you adapt to, your body adapts to low calories, yes, you're going to feel like you have a slow metabolism, but that's not the case. Like, you can change it. Your metabolism isn't this static thing that you're born with and that stays the same. Like, your metabolism is constantly changing because your body is adapting to what you do to it. So if you go from eating high calorie to low calorie, like, your body will just adapt to whatever you do. So this idea that you need to be perfect is only going to happen for you if you let your body adapt to you being perfect, i.e., when you go low carb and your body adapts to low carb, you're going to feel like carbs make you gain weight. When you eat carbs more consistently and your body becomes more comfortable with carbs and maintaining your weight, you won't feel like carbs make you gain weight easily. I've done it myself. Yeah. I've coached other people through that process. You don't have to be so perfect. It doesn't have to it doesn't have to be so hard. You're just making it hard. And it's not your fault. It's kind of just what we've been taught and what I used to be, like the perception I used to have. Whereas I just realized that I create my own reality, right? So if I want something to look a certain way, I can decide that I don't want to be perfect. I don't want you to tell me that I can't have carbs. I don't want you to tell me that I can't have like pasta and pizza and margarita cocktails and espresso martinis. Like, you can't tell me I can't have that and still have the body that I want. Like, I'll tell you that I can. And it's not that I don't do things, like I don't overindulge. And that's the thing that I teach with emotional eating, is that when your desire to eat a certain amount of food doesn't match up with the weight you want to be, I believe you have to do work around your emotional attachment to food. And emotional attachment to food doesn't mean that you don't get to enjoy food. It just means that you don't have a relationship to food where it's serving a purpose to, like a drug, essentially. So when you kind of go, I feel like sugar is a drug, it's more your relationship to sugar. Sugar in itself, like, isn't a drug. Otherwise, you would just eat it out of the canister. Nobody eats sugar out of the fucking canister. Sugar isn't a drug, right? It's the emotional attachment to sugar that makes it like your relationship to it is what creates the dopamine hit, not the sugar itself. Okay. It's seriously like some people don't even fucking like chocolate. If sugar was like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, it's deeper than that. It's more about the taste and the experience of eating that makes it feel like a drug. And the taste, they know how to make food taste really good. So that's where you're feeling like it's addicting. But it's honestly just your relationship to it, which can be changed. You can change your relationship to it, then you no longer feel addicted to food in that way. And the solution isn't to cut it out, in my opinion. And based on what studies I've looked at, and my personal experience, the solution isn't to cut out. There's plenty of research on that about whether or not cutting out foods. Cutting out foods generally makes them more alluring. So I choose the opposite thing, right? I choose to neutralize the relationship to food, to not make food so alluring. That's also in science. That's what currently is the proven way to change your relationship to food. Okay, so it's kind of opposing everything the dieting industry says, but I feel like the problem with the world and weight loss is that nobody's bridging the gap between nutrition and psychology. Well, not nobody, but it's not mainstream enough that there's the psychology aspect of eating and the nutrition aspect of eating. And you guys, like, our mind, our body is an instrument of the mind. So literally everything you do, every single behavior and decision you make on a daily basis, every single thing you do, everything that you are is a result of your mind. So what do you think you should be working on if you want to change your body and your relationship to food? Your mind. Like, do not underestimate this. Do not. Your mind is everything. Your mind is even the one that's saying that it's not about your mind. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're going skeptical of like, nah, I don't think I have to do mindset work, that's your mind thinking that, you know? So it's your mind. It's your mind, it's your mind, it's your mind. And if you feel like you have to be perfect in order to get the body you want, you're creating that reality with your mind. And then, of course, your behaviors will follow, and your reality, your life as you know it and the way you experience it will prove that right. Always, 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 always. So open yourself up, like I did, to a different perspective where, trust me, it isn't about having to eat perfect, because your body is just adapting to everything that you do. Your body is just adapting to how strict you are. Whereas you get to make a choice that you don't want to be that strict. You don't want to feel deprived. Yes, there's a way, there's ways in which I do it and the ways in which I coach people to be able to do this. You can't just go, let me just eat whatever I want and I'll lose weight. Like, it's not that simple. It's a process, but once you do the process, and once my clients have done the process, implemented it, they've gone from being people who constantly struggled and felt deprived to then losing weight and feeling more freedom around food, like completely transforming on an identity level as well. And this is so great to see, because it doesn't matter who you are and where you've come from. If you are willing to do the work, like, you don't have to struggle like you have. And trust me, you do not have to be perfect in order to get the results that you want. And my skin is probably, putting the body stuff aside, my skin, time and time again, I'm just like overwhelmed at how the power of my mind has changed my reality, and how I decided that sugar and dairy was no longer going to affect my skin, and that I would be a person with clear skin even if I drank alcohol, even if I ate cheese and butter, even if I had a caramel slice, right? And that I wouldn't, because I would have something sweet and then the next day I'd wake up with a new pimple and be like, here we go. I knew it would happen. I shifted that, right? I shifted that mentality. And now you guys, I went to Bali. Bali is when my skin would break out the worst. And even my skin would change consistency. Like it would go all like oily and disgusting. And I was just looking at my skin and I was just like, I'm beautiful. And like, if you've suffered with acne, like it's traumatizing. It's traumatizing. And to like just have a completely different reality, I'm just like, oh my God, like I want to cry. This is so amazing. And it just keeps getting better and better. Like life just keeps getting better and better because I understand the key to life. Like I understand that it's about changing your mind. It's the key to life, you guys. I get excited about this stuff. We create our own reality, and it gets hard at times, and your subconscious mind takes a lot of work to shift, and it can feel like it's not working, and you can get stuck and go, I'm in ego right now and I can't shift out of it. I'm in a bad mood. How do I shift this? But you do keep getting better. It really does work. It really does. And I just want you to know that you can apply it to every single aspect of your freaking life. Like I've seen it work in all areas of my life. Like that's how I quit my job. Yeah. I've seen it work. It takes work, but it does work. And it's the key to life. And I get really excited about this stuff because I'm just like, I'm applying it to things and it's like changing my reality, and it applies to your weight too. Okay. And so you don't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be as hard as you think. You can manifest the body that you want. You can have a good relationship to food. You don't have to suffer. You don't have to feel powerless around food. You don't have to feel powerless to sugar and carbohydrates and feel deprived and blah, blah, blah. Okay? You can shift your perception, and then the things you perceive will change. That's the secret to life, all right? So the key takeaway today is to understand that you feel like you have to be perfect, but that is just a perception, and then that creates your reality. You do not have to be perfect. It's okay. Your mentality of who you need to be in order to lose weight isn't exactly true. You can still be yourself and lose weight. You're not going to have to like be this person that you put on a pedestal that's perfect. Okay? I'm not perfect. I'm so not perfect. Okay? So, anyway, you guys, like I said, 3 days to sign up for Emerge. I'm super excited. If you feel powerless around food, if you struggle with constant cravings, if you feel like you're addicted to food, sugar, etc., if you just have trouble losing weight because you just can't stick to a diet, because you just can't control yourself, you eat food and you're just like, oh my God, like I totally don't know why I ate that, or at the end of the day, you just feel like you ate too much and you feel guilty, whatever, like all of this stuff, we're going to shift that, right? I want to say it's easy because the clients that really dedicate themselves to do this work, it does get to the point where it's easy and it's inevitable. Like it really is. It's inevitable. This shit works. You just have to do it. It really works. So you have 3 more days to join me for that. Join the group. I'm super excited about it. It's going to be great. nodietbabe.com/emerge, you guys. All right. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Screenshot the episode and tag me if you're listening in. I'd love to see who you are. And I love you guys. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you loved this episode, I'd love for you to leave me an iTunes review. Don't forget to follow this podcast for more uplifting teachings to come. For more tips, inspiration, and teachings, come follow me on Instagram at No Diet Babe, or check out my website, nodietbabe.com. Until I see you next time, babes, lots of love.
da 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 da